I've been sick for about 3 weeks, and I'm just on the tail end of my third bout of sickness. Um, but I've been what they now call morbidly obese my entire life, and I mean I was a 10-pound baby, so I was I started out life, pretty hefty, and the last few years my blood sugar hasn't been very good, and I thought maybe I could use nutrition to kind of fix that, and I worked on that a little bit, but nothing quite so serious as this new experiment that I'm going to try. Well, you don't really need to know my name, but let me start with some of the problems that I've got. I've got actually thinning hair because my thyroid doesn't work anymore at all. And I'm actually missing most of the teeth in my lower jaw, so it makes it difficult to eat certain foods. Um, I've got severe scoliosis, so it's sort of a shape like that. And my rib cage is actually so far out of alignment that my left lung is half the size of my right lung because it's crushed, basically, because my rib cage is just off to the side. And then I have I'd say it's a thinning disc in my lower back, which bothers me every single day. And just lots of popping going on in my pelvic area. Lower back pelvic area is just bothers me constantly. My good knee, my left knee, aches all the time, and my right foot I injured last summer, walking into the YMCA to exercise. Not on any of my hikes. I didn't injure it on any of the hikes I did. I did 52 hikes last year, but nope, I injured it walking down a level hallway in the YMCA to go exercise after a writers conference or something. So basically my body's constantly fighting against me. And when I got sick a couple weeks ago, I decided I'm just going to start watching a few health documentaries. And one documentary that I watched that really inspired me is called That Sugar Film. And it talks about the hidden sugar in purported health foods in our country and other countries now. In Australia, which I never imagined would be an obese country, they're starting to go that way quite a bit. Basically, the allowed amount of sugar we're supposed to have is women's supposed to have about 6 teaspoons a day, men 9, and that's the maximum. On average, we eat about 41 teaspoons of sugar in our food a day, and it can come in hidden in foods like soup, even hamburger meat, hamburger buns, what are some others? Spaghetti sauce, any sort of bread, cereal loaded with sugar, even if it's a healthy cereal. And even tortillas. So I started really looking at labels and trying to figure out how to fix some of the problems. I don't really expect my thyroid to be fixed. I think possibly it's completely gone, but I do believe, and unfortunately thyroid controls your metabolism, which controls weight loss and everything. So I don't think I can ever be thin or average, but I think I can be smaller than I am now using food. So what we're trying to do as a family, it's me and my 2 teenagers, and what we're trying to do as a family is try to shop primarily on the outer edges of the store where you have the produce, meats, cheese, butter, eggs, just basic dairy area. And, of course, the produce is the number one. And so we're trying this experiment, and my blood sugar results were not that great last time. So I'm going to test in probably April of this year, 2017, and see if there's any effect, or if I'm just too far gone or what. But hopefully, the idea of this whole experiment is that I can use food to make myself well. Obviously, the scoliosis isn't going to go away. Most likely, the thyroid won't improve. I don't know. It might. I take thyroid medicine every day, and I take a muscle relaxer so I can walk upright. Because if I don't, I'm going to lay in bed all day because my back hurts too much from the stupid scoliosis. So, um, if I have any good results or bad results, I'll post them on here. I've started a Facebook page, which you might be watching this video from that page. I don't know. It's THIS CHIT, And so I'll put all of my failures and I'll put my triumphs on there. I'll have some videos. I'll have shopping lists, um, maybe moments of weaknesses, blood test results, weight loss or weight gain. I lost 2 pounds since yesterday, and that was all water weight because I peed all day long. Oh my gosh. And that's another thing is I haven't had anything to drink. I think the last thing I had to drink that was not water was, I believe it was iced tea at McDonald's. I go to a writers group once a week, and then a couple of us meet at McDonald's afterwards. And I usually get an unsweet iced tea, and just like the top inch of it, I put sweet in, so that's just flavored somehow. But I think that was the last drink I had. And the last fast food I had was at Subway, which isn't that bad because you have fresh vegetables and stuff, but it was still quote unquote fast food. And that was, oh, probably 3.5 weeks ago. I think it was right before I got sick. It was just a 6-inch flat grain or flatbread multigrain turkey, I think is what it was. Um, so we're trying to avoid fast food as a family. We're trying to lower bread consumption. In fact, we don't have any bread in the house right now. And I've been doing a lot of meal preparation, a lot of it. And that's one thing about eating healthier is you've got to put in the work. And so that takes time from other stuff. But anyway, I'm just giving it a shot, and hopefully something good will happen. And if it doesn't, at least I will have tried, and maybe can give you guys some pointers, and hopefully this will be an inspiration to someone out there who watches it, like all 3 of you who watch this. So anyway, hopefully I'll get my voice back when I'm done being sick. And this is actually an interesting thing about this. Once I started eating healthier, oh, by the way, I haven't had any pop since December 31st, so a couple of months with no pop. And I was just drinking a Coke a day, but I said, I'm just going to go ahead and stop, see how long I can stop, and I did. And don't have any cravings. I did have a craving once, and it was for Pepsi, which I don't drink anyway, but it was the color of the can. I went to an auction, and they had a cooler that had pop for sale in it, and it was the blue color of the can that attracted me. So I'm definitely visually oriented. I can not worry about anything unless I see it. And of course, marketers know that. If you go through the cereal aisle, you have these big, brightly colored packages. Well, then go to the produce section. Everything in the produce section is big, bright, bright green, bright red, bright yellow, bright orange, and in my opinion, that's why most packages are colored that way because I believe we're designed to seek out those bright, healthy looking colors. And when you put that on a cereal box or a bag of chips or something, that I think plays and triggers something that we have in our in our mind already. Just that's like a primal desire to seek out these colors. Um, quite frankly, sugar was not available, thousands of years ago, except in the form of fruits and occasionally honey. So anyway, but yeah. So once I started eating healthier, even though I was sick and I'm still sick, there's this other level, this inner wellness that I feel, which is really weird. I've never felt this. Usually I'm sick and I'm just flat out sick. But there's this inner wellness of, I would say, almost like energy inside. And then I've got, of course, all the nasal stuff and everything right now that makes me feel awful. But that's kind of interesting. That's not anything I've felt before. My habits are, when I'm not sick and when I'm not on my period, I exercise 5 days a week. I go to the treadmill or YMCA and hang on to the treadmill for like half an hour. Because I can't, that's another thing with my scoliosis. I can't just walk normally. I need to actually hold on to it. I lift weights after that, and then I go about the rest of my day. Nothing super intense. I limit myself to about an hour, and then on the weekends I usually don't exercise beyond just piddling around the house and stuff in the yard. But anyway, that's where I'm starting at this whole journey and this whole experiment. Is I do moderate exercise, and we're starting to eat healthier as a family, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Thanks for listening.